We have around 3 degree programs right now. One is a BA in Global Affairs, which is an honors program in international relations. The second is a program which is a master's program in diplomacy, law and business. This is tailored or customized for students who are interested in international relations, but also want exposure to disciplines of international law, international economics. And we have recently, this year, initiated a new program, which is a BA in Political Science Honors. As you would know, political science has been one of the areas where a lot of the private universities do not have very specialized programs. So we realized that students with a specialized focus in political science can get that exposure. Now, in pedagogy and teaching standards, what we are trying to do at the school is constantly experiment with new methods of teaching, methods of styles of how we involve students in classroom exercises. But it could be a course in history. In economics, what I do is that they have a couple of exercises where they're required to go out in the field, spend a little bit of time interacting with the people from the community to understand how different access to basic resources get affected. This is primarily something which they get to, have a better understanding of. But at the same time, what we've been trying to do is also give them an intellectual exercise of critiquing given texts. So they're introduced to various schools of thought. What I've been trying to do primarily is give them different perspectives in economics itself. The economics taught, let's say, in the United States is very different from the economics that we practice in India. So the idea has been that they get an international exposure to different schools of thought. And as a result of that, at an undergraduate level, they're better informed to then apply the discipline in different aspects. We have, for example, a field-based program on border area studies, which a colleague of mine, Dr. Samrat Sinha, runs. We take students to the Indo-Bhutan border. They spend a little bit of time there. But what they're primarily doing is they're working with local organizations there who have been engaged in the field for the last 14 years. So what they do is they work on areas of public health. But it is interesting because the practice of this area is in the border landscape. So from an IR perspective, it's interesting to see what Bhutan is doing and what India is doing in a matter of less than 10 to 15 meters of distance. So the idea here is to give them a set of exposure which allow them to expand their perception. I think that's the only kind of broader skill that we are trying to infuse. Now, the pathways that they have is primarily determined based on how they spend the first 2 years. The first year is when they're doing foundational courses. The second year, they are exposed to a higher number of internships. We have in third year a range of electives that students choose from. But the electives are something which they choose once they know that which is the area they want to work towards. So let's say a student is interested in finance. He or she has the option of taking some courses of economics from the school and then also cross-list and cross-register for courses across schools. Economics as a discipline, as you know, is cross-fertilized to different other domains. International relations is just one of the areas where it has a major role. But they also get certain tools to practice in other areas like defense economics. Defense economics is a new field which is coming up where they know a little bit about public finance and they apply it to know how nations prioritize in defense expenditure as against looking at other forms of resources.